I am Kevin Tanner, and I have the honor and pleasure of serving as your Commissioner for the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. It's a job that I've had for an entire 3 months, but I will tell you one of my favorite parts about the job is being able to come to an event like this and interacting with people who are in the trenches each and every day, making Georgia a better place. I also want to thank Jill Mays and Rachel Holloman, two of our team members who I know are here today, for all they do for all of us here in the state and for all they do for our agency. The work that we do would not be possible without the dedicated staff like them every day. You know, depression knocks on every one of our doors at some point in our lives. And today it's knocking on either our door or our family member's door. Organizations like you continue to shine a light on this and make us understand the reality is this is not a rich problem, a poor problem, a rural problem, an urban problem, a white problem, a black problem. It's a Georgia problem, and it's a problem that we all have. You, through your conversations and your work, have taken this from a conversation and a place of shame and stigma to a place of hope and of recovery. And for that, I want to thank you for all you've done. As many of you know, people cannot get help. They cannot find hope if they don't feel like the help is going to be there when they need it. But I will tell you, more government agencies, more governments, more people in positions of authority are talking about mental health in a way like it's never been talked about before. In Georgia, you have all helped make this possible, and as a result, there's no doubt in my mind that you have saved countless lives in our state. Politically, the tone of this conversation, I think, started to really change last year with the passage of the historic bipartisan House Bill 1013. That would not have been possible without years of advocacy work done by you and other organizations in our state. I get the opportunity to stand on the shoulders of some great Georgians, many of whom are here today, that have been in the trenches working in this area to reduce stigma for many countless years. And this year we have a follow-up piece of legislation with House Bill 520 that continues that very important conversation. I want to tell you something I learned as a 4-term legislator is your voice matters. Your voice matters here at the Capitol. Your voice matters in every local jurisdiction across this state. You need to continue to get engaged. You need to engage your local elected officials, your state legislators, your state senators, folks in positions of authority and power, to hear your struggles and to understand where you're coming from as an individual. We know that reforming the mental health system is not like turning on a light switch. It does not happen overnight. It's going to require many years of hard work. That's why I like to say that we're living in the decade of mental health reform, because it's going to take time. As Commissioner of DBHDD, I look forward to continuing to partner and to empower organizations like you to be successful, who work on the ground like voices for prevention in the trenches getting the job done. Because we all know that this is a matter of life and death. And unfortunately, we're constantly reminded of these tragedies, especially the most vulnerable in our communities. When looking at the 5-year aggregates from 2017 to 21, the leading cause of death among 10 to 14-year-olds were suicide. Suicide continues to rise among the African American population here in Georgia and across the country. Our rural communities have a higher than average suicide rate. These statistics are unacceptable. But help is on the way. Through DBHDD's work, the work of the General Assembly and fine members like Senator Watson, we're standing up solutions and help each and every day. 988 is a 3-digit call number that has been stood up for help. Help is only a phone call away. Like Jill said, there is hope and there is recovery and there is hope that just by dialing that number. I want to tell you that we have individuals on the other side of that line that are answering that call in an average time of 7.7 seconds. So if you find yourself struggling, pick up the phone, call 988. We have help waiting for you. I also want to let you know that it is important that we have the workforce to meet the demand and meet you where we are. I've said many times recently that we are in a state of emergency around our workforce. Our providers are paid too low, and that has to change. I'm happy to work with the General Assembly and the Governor as we continue to look for ways to improve the status of our workforce, to get people interested and engaged in this process so that we're able to have the people there when you call. This work is critically important as we move forward. Every second counts in the work that we're doing. I know I share this mission with many of you, and I want to say thank you for your continued involvement in making Georgia a better place where the stories of hope and the stories of recovery can continue to be shared across the dinner table in every single community of our state. Thank you again for having me, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you and Senator Steve Goops. Thank you.